Hello, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Easy 8's Online Painting Club. My name is Danny, and for the next 2 hours I'm going to be joining you live streaming whilst painting miniatures. Hopefully whilst you're painting miniatures, or otherwise just finding this safe, quiet space on a Friday evening to enjoy whatever hobby it is that you like doing with like-minded people. If you're new here, Easy 8 isn't a tutorial show or anything like that at all. It's just merely a place where you can come along, do the thing that you're interested and passionate about doing, and making some friends along the way, and maybe catching up and having a chit-chat, maybe sharing some successes or talking about some recent struggles or roadblocks that you may have had in your hobby. Maybe the people in the live chat over here might be able to help you out. We've got some people joining us today. We've got Shiv from Table of Horrors. Hi Shiv, how's it going? Who gave Danny coffee before the stream? Do I sound like I've had coffee? I've had a good end to a very, very difficult week, so I might be like on a bit of a buzz, maybe. I do feel like it though. So hi Shiv. We've got Kez has joined us as well. Hi Kez. Who else have we got? We've got Jeff, that's my dad. Hi Dad. I'm sure I saw someone else in there as well. No, just you three. Okay, hi guys, thanks for coming along. This week is something really, I've got something really excited lined up, and maybe you're just picking up on my enthusiasm for starting a new project this week. But whatever it is that you guys are doing, please talk about it. Talk about it over here in the live chat. If you want to, take a picture of whatever it is that you're working on. Stick it in Facebook, on Discord, at the Easy 8 After Party. You can watch my stuff on Instagram if you want to, because we're not just here on YouTube. We've got all of those platforms, and links to all of those platforms are just down there. Adrian's just joined us. Hi Adrian. Nice for you to come along. I was about to say nice for you for joining late, but I would be, maybe not tooting my own horn, a bit late myself on that one. So yeah, hi Adrian, thanks for coming along, pal. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, subscribing. If you are enjoying what we do at Easy 8, please subscribe. This is not scripted at all, is it? Please subscribe. It makes the community grow. You are the community, and you grow as a community if you share, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. In fact, you know what? I'll give you a couple of seconds. You do that. Go on. Subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. Go on, do it. I dare you. I dare you. Ooh, that's a nice cup of tea I've made myself there. Happy weekend, everybody. Friday is here. We are done. This week is done. The weekend is in front of you. I've got a weekend free. Do you know what? I'm just going to have a self-care weekend. Last couple of weekends, I've done stuff for other people, met people, been out for birthdays, just the last couple. I'm just going to stay at home. I'm going to have a long shower. Going to watch some telly and sit down with a cat, because we're going into some really busy times at work, and it's just to get a bit mental, really. So it's important to have that time. Look up. I'm not even going to do any painting tomorrow. I might do some on Sunday. I'm not going to do anything tomorrow. I'm just going to have a lazy day. I've been told I've got to get the shopping. That's what shopping to your door is all about, right? Don't tell her though. Shh. I have to go out and do the shopping. Subscribe. It would make my day. Cool. So, yes, I'm working on a project this evening. It's a really new and exciting project. I've been looking forward to this one for some months now, because my dad, Jeff, who's in the live chat, gave this to me either as a birthday present or a Christmas present last year. I think it was a Christmas present, but it's been sat in my to-do pile for at least 6 months, and that is going to be Ed 209 from RoboCop. I've got the box down here. A childhood fave is Ed 209. I absolutely love him. I love the character in the movie. I love the design, the concept, everything about him. It's just a fantastic robot to do. And this is a beautifully printed 3D printed resin model. It's got a little bit of work left to do. I haven't had the time to be spending on it as I'd hoped that I would do up until now, but now that I'm on this project, I can kind of do the two things at the same time. One of those two things being painting him and kind of crafting at the same time. I'll show you more about that. Anyway, let's go to the workbench, because enough faffing here. Let's go! Shiv says, just 20 more subscribers and I grow to be the height of a real boy. So, my airbrush is in pieces. This is very crucial that it's in pieces today, because there's going to be a lot of airbrushing and I want some really fine work out of the airbrush. It hasn't been working so well. It has been working actually very well, considering that these paints that I was using in the previous build of my big Space Marine, I was trying to do some OSL effects on it. These have been sat on my paint shelf for a while, and they had turned to something like jelly crossed with mud. It was an awful substance. they're really nice colours, and when they are brand new, they are really, really nice paints, but they seem to just kind of go off, maybe, and they just turn into a thick thing, and it is deadly to everything it touches. It's just stuck to everything. It's stuck to my my paint water jar, it's stuck to my brushes. It was really tricky to clean, and it was particularly aggressive to my airbrush, and I used 2 or 3 colours that I have in there, and they are all the same. There's still a little bit of red paint in the hopper, which I'm going to try and scrub out in just a second. But last week on Discord, at the end of the show, I sat there with the guys chatting away, and it took me ages and ages. And out of the nozzle, this tiny little piece in here, I was just pushing a needle with airbrush cleaner into that nozzle all evening, and eventually huge piles, and I know it's a really, really tiny piece of airbrush, but huge piles of detritus came out of there. I don't even know how I was able to fit a needle in there or blow air through it, yet alone, like, it was just gross. So I gave it all a really good clean, and the reason it's all in parts right now is it's been sat in some cleaning fluid for a couple of days, and I've just put it through the sonic cleaner while I was having dinner this evening. So hopefully I haven't jinxed anything. Hopefully it's all going to work. I just have to reconstruct it. So I've got my trusty little screwdriver right here. Even trying to get this gasket out the other day was particularly difficult because this little gasket screw had just completely blocked up with that paint, and I couldn't even fit the screwdriver into it. It was a fiasco, a real pavlova. Crumbs has joined us. Hi Crumbs, how are you, pal? Nice to see you again. Shiv thinks that I've been on the coffee. I don't know why that is. It's been a taxing week. It's been a really challenging week. Do you know what? Anyone wants to know about my challenging week? This isn't the forum for it. We could talk about it over on Discord at the end if you like. So if you want to join me and any of the guys that normally join me for a little video chit chat, come and do so at the Easy 8 after party on Discord. I dare you. Right, that's the gasket in. Lush. Let's pop the little trigger in. Needle. Always back to front with a needle, if possible. Put the little tension screw in at the back. I call it tension screw, don't really know what it's called, but you get what it is. Pull the needle back at least until it's inside the paint chamber. Lock it off for a second. Nozzle inside the nozzle protector. Screw that bad boy up. There we go. Loosen off the needle, slide it forwards into position. That worked really well, that was good. Protector on the back, I'm just going to clean the inside of that hopper out of there, just a quick second. I've got an old cotton bud here. Let's see if I can scrape that paint out of it. Now that I know that paint is really stuck to the hopper, it took a bit of effort to get it out, but it's been in a sonic bath, so it's probably loosened up a little bit, and I don't want anything to taint the colours that I'm going to be spraying this evening. Go. Oh, tough. Crumb says, evening to Kes and Adrian, and also last by no means that's Jeff. Be prepared for randomness and waffle on Discord. Has someone been on the coffee? Are you still working on Normandy? Yeah, Dad, are you still working on the big Normandy build? What is everyone working on this evening? I'm sure I saw Kez earlier on said that she's still working on Battletech. There's some bits coming out there. It's really horrible paint. When it dries, it's just yikes. And that is actually a different type of paint. Well, the colour of that is a different paint. It's coloured the green stuff weld stuff. So the green stuff weld red was really, really fluorescent, and it just stuck to the inside of the hopper, and then other paint stuck to it and changed their colours. Changed its colour, you know what I mean. There we are. Lovely, chuck that away, don't need that anymore. Can put that screwdriver away. Lovely. Check the action on it. Lush! Right, turn the compressor on. Every time I turn the compressor on, everything flickers on my screen. I wonder if it flickers for you. Oh, it did flicker this time. Well, what do I know? I'm probably going to have to do... I'll put a little bit of cleaner through the airbrush ever so quickly, just to make sure that any little bits and pieces are all removed from inside the paint chamber, etc. Flush it through with a little bit of water. So just a little bit like that. There we go. Where's my purge chamber? There we go. Bit of water in there. That does sound like it's flowing quite well. You just check the rate that the water disappears, see how fast it's kind of pushing through. I'm expecting a little bit of blockage, just because there was so much crap in the nozzle. It was unbelievable, man. Does feel like it's draining a little slower than usual, but it does seem to have a pretty consistent flow, which I'm pretty happy with. I'm just going to give it a quick check. Nothing really rubbishy in there, and I can see light through the nozzle, so that's all good. Wonderful. Right, okay, let's get on to the meat and potatoes of this project. I'm so excited about this. Okay, so some bits that we have, so we've seen it all before, I know we have, but here's Ed, his head chassis. Ed's head. This is the problematic section. It comes in 3 pieces, yeah, like this. The problem being is that if you look at Ed's face, or the top of his head, he has this kind of a canopy. See this bit here, and it's kind of patterned. I don't really know how to best describe it, but it's almost like a tight mesh, maybe. And it's sort of a semi-gloss black, and it's uninterrupted all the way across. I mean, uninterrupted by... Oh, just smash everything all over the place. Well done, me. Uninterrupted by the fact that there are no breaks in it. If I put these 2 pieces here together, somehow, upside down, got that right, didn't I? There we go, like that. You can see that the canopy ends just here. And if I put this other piece on it, just see how the 2 connect, and it creates quite a light. In fact, actually, look at that gap all the way around. The rest of the model fits together almost hermetically. It's insane how well the rest of the model fits together, but these parts don't, and it's all to do with the inside section of the 2 face pieces. You can see how they're kind of being pushed apart a little bit. Now underneath here isn't so bad. I could get a tiny bit of green stuff, make some real like thin sausages, push them in there, trim away any excess, let it dry, sand and paint, and be done with it. But you can see here that the gaps are really quite astounding. Now I know it's on the inside and that gap might be different, but you can see that it creates quite a gap in there. Put the back of the head part against it, and you can see that there's actually a gap in where the 2 pieces meet. Does that make sense? So I was trying to limit all of this because you can see that there's like a little riser here, which meets the negative version of it here. And putting those 2 together, they just push each other apart. And the more I try to force it together, the worse it is. There was a big lug on the inside here, a big solid piece, which its polar opposite, the plug from it, met there. So the 2 could be pushed together, and I think that was creating a bit of an awkward situation as well. So I've trimmed all that out, apart from this little bit there, which just allows me to, you know, key them together, basically, stop it all sliding apart. And you can see that in the shoulder section here, the cuff of the shoulder, there's a gap there as well. I'm not too fussed about that. I'm fairly certain that a good application of green stuff might be the job on that one. So this is going to be more of a painting and model crafting exercise, really, is how I deal with that. I don't think I'm good enough to really hide that unless I can deal with all of this. So I've got like a little sander machine, like a little sanding tool, goggles and mask, because you should never ever sand this stuff without wearing a respirator and goggles, because 3D printed resin is super toxic and it turns into such a fine dust. If you breathe it in, you're going to give yourself some sort of horrible bubble lung disease or whatever. Please, if you are sanding 3D printed resins, wear PPE. So yeah, I do have all of that. I'm not don't think I'm going to need to do that even this evening, and if I do, it will be in the second half. So I've got some time to get all that gear out. I did buy some extra bits and pieces. If you read the schedule for today's show, and you should have, I bought some new varnish, ammo varnish ultra mattes, because I bought this Vallejo ultra matte, and if you go back a couple of episodes, you'll know that I'm struggling with it. It always comes out with a glossy sheen on it, and I don't know why. So I thought maybe it's just the product and I'm not using it right. I don't know. So I've fallen out with it, so I bought this instead. It's expensive. I bought it on Amazon. This 14 litres or whatever this huge bottle of varnishes was £8.30, and this little pot of 60 millilitres was £12 something from Amazon. So you're paying for the brand, but the brands in this industry count for a lot, so who knows. And then I also used the painter app. I can't remember what it calls it, Paint Rack app. You need to use this if you are getting serious about your painting, and especially if you're doing like reference work or whatever. You need to get Paint Rack app. Do you know what? In fact, I'm even going to try and find a link for it somewhere and stick it in the comments of this video. It does cost about £4, and it's absolutely worth every penny in that £4. And it's got so many tools, and it really took me a little while to understand how powerful that app is. But one of the things that I could do was take a photo on my phone, port it into the thing by just simply opening it up as a photo, and then there's a color picker tool, and you basically just select any pixel on that picture, no matter how big that picture is, and you can get the color reference for that particular pixel, and then it will scan every paint brand known to mankind, and give you the nearest hit for from each of those brands for that color that you've found, and you can find the best hit. Now I've basically found a picture. Do you know what? I'm going to get it on my phone. I wasn't prepared for this here. Is it in screenshots? I'm sure it's in screenshots. It's not in screenshots. It must be in downloads. It's in downloads. Here is a picture of Ed209 that I found on the Tinterwebs, and I don't think that's actually a stock model of Ed209. That is a very, very professionally done model that someone else has done, and I've looked at reference photos from stills from the movie that I went and found, and this is as close to the deal as I could find anywhere on the internet. So basically I was able to zoom in, find this particular grey that I was looking for. Now where you find shadow, reflection and other sort of paint artifacts, you can see like here for example there's a little bit of shading around this detail, the hood to the toe. I found the best grey or version of it I could, and it linked me up with this paint. So this is Ammo MIG. It's just called grey. Just called grey, and it was the closest hit that I could find to any paint to match its colour basically. So that's the colour of Ed209. That's I'm going to spray him down with that. I'm even going to use black primer. I'm normally a fan of greys and whites, whatever, but black primer for everything nowadays. I'm going to use gloss as well because I want silky, smooth effects on him. I want most of this work to be done by airbrush because he's large enough, bold enough to kind of get away with that, and there's some details which will be done by detail brush, etc. So tonight's episode really is going to be me prepping Ed209 and all his component parts with this, and then getting that first layer down like this. So really, really excited about that. I'm going to catch up quickly with the live chat because it's getting chatty in there. Apparently there was a tiny judder on the screen. I saw nothing this time. Yep, cool. Ked's working on Battletech, like Shiv painting red. Got some new mechs in the post yesterday. It never ends. Yeah, I agree with Crumbs. Not if you keep buying it, pal. But we've been playing a couple of games of Alpha Strike lately. Battletech Alpha Strike, really good fun. Please keep buying the models that I need to play that game with. Shiv says, hey, no, you're right, Crumbs. Who am I kidding? Oh, because she's still painting red. Yep, lots of consistency. Green stuff and ISO will melt it slightly and use it like sprue goo. Interesting. Are you saying you use ISO on green stuff to turn that into a goo? Yeah, I think that's what you're saying, isn't it? So I should keep the green stuff malleable and still in the putty, not dried out. Add a bit of ISO, melt it down. Okay, cool. I get it. Adria says, so I'm still plunging my way through that 2,000 point infantry army. Command is fully complete. Pictures on Facebook, I'll check those out later, thank you very much, and on Discord to follow later. Basing the ordnance batteries is a bit daunting. Why is it daunting? Tell me more. I love basing miniatures. It sells the whole thing. It's the story of the whole model. I love it. As they are, oh I see, as they are on 100mm bases, everything else is on 50mm bases or smaller. I see. Grum says, and Danny says it's not a tutorial show. It's not a tutorial show. I'm not that good. I struggled with that one. I went and bought another one. Buy the Painter app. Simple as that. Easy 8 is not a tutorial show. Any learning you may experience is purely a coincidence. Yeah. And it's unintentional for sure. You may learn things you didn't realise, you didn't know, or want to know. Yeah, that probably happens later on in the show, to be fair. It's nice to know Ed got modelling work after Robocop. Yeah, he had a bit of a rough end to that movie, didn't he? You got wasted away at the waist. So many conversations going on here in the live chat. There's Kez ripping Staff. Staff does tanks, but Staff's not in the live chat yet, so we can't slate him until he comes in. You know, allyship and all that. Lots of tanks and is easy to influence with at a show. Yeah, that sounds like Stafford. You can get them to buy anything. It's funny. It's a really good game. ISO in a little tea light tray and some mixed green stuff. Okay, cool. Do you know what? I'll give it a go. I've got some green stuff here, ready to rock and roll. And I've got better than tea light trays. I've got some actual little makeup mixing dishes thingies. Cool. Anyway, right. I'm not going to start on the head components. I've got a lot of crafting to do on that yet. They're big and bold. They should be easy enough to do. Do you know what? Even the box on this is handcrafted. It must have come from one of those, and I'm trying to be really polite without being derogatory in any way, shape, or form deliberately. This came from China. I'm almost certain it came from China. The quality is unmatched by anything I have ever seen. Even in a lot of production models as well. Sam's joined us. Yo! Hi Sam, I miss you man. Do you know I keep on meaning to reply to you. You sent me a message the other day and I keep on meaning to reply to you. I've just been so busy, pal. But thanks for coming along. It's nice to have you along for the ride, mate. We'll catch up later, alright? Even the box, like the box isn't handmade, but all the images, they're all printed really on a really good printer as well, and they've all been like surgically cut out and perfectly glued onto the box with, I should imagine, a spirit level, and on the inside, like, the utmost care was taken to pack every individual piece. So I'm just going to get it all out of the box because it's been sat in the box for a long time, and I really want to get it all out and start painting. So I'm just going to line up all these pieces. There aren't tiny pieces, which is good, and there isn't like millions of them. This is one of those models that is more about the kind of a little bit about constructing and more about the painting and the memorabilia to it all, really. So the smallest pieces are the toes, because there is a little bit of detail in the inside the feet. If you watch the movie, when he starts walking, they put quite a bit of focus on the feet, so you actually can get quite good still images on it. There's a lot of cabling and things like that in there, which will be easier to paint if the toes aren't all put on. So you can see you've got a toe here. There should be a toe on each side, and you can see all the pipe work. Look at that, it's just amazing, isn't it? I have been over and done all the sanding work and prep work on it a little while ago. Look at the vents in the look at it. It's insane. I have never ever had a model like this. I really haven't. Really exciting, and I genuinely hope I do it justice. Now, one of the things that I had to do, because it was a little bit confusing on the feet on how to put it together, and that is which way the toes go on, basically. So if I just move all these pieces aside over here, here are his legs. It's quite easy to work out which foot is what, because the legs are positioned so that he actually has like a stance to him. But what toe goes on what? His toes are actually ever so slightly different shapes depending if they're on the inside or the outside of the foot. I've also got little shoulder flap thingies, so they're small pieces. They're the smallest bits. Here are his toes. So it took me a little while to work out which toe went where, because some of them match up with certain things. So what I did underneath, I took the liberty to basically go, this is the left foot, so they'll be positioned as you see them here. That's exciting, isn't it? And then underneath I put left inside, left outside. because I'm clever like that. So that one will go here, and then this one will go in here, and then on this side here, right inside, right outside, like that. Really, really cool, really, really easy. Don't think I did it with the shoulders. I think they're actually interchangeable. Or saying that, they've actually got key referenced tags there. See, that one's a different size than the other. So if I get the head section of him here, I can't pick them up. These ones are on a tilt. Can you see that they're tilted slightly? These ones here are also straight. So this one slots into there, like that. Super cool. I'm loving it. I'm loving everything about this model, apart from having to do the work on that. So all I'm going to do really is I'm just going to start spraying them with gloss black for that primer. I'm not going to glue skewer sticks onto them. With the Space Marine model that I had, it was easy to get away with a lot of sins. You could like glue things on the insides, and it is absolutely not the same quality as this model. If I start gluing bits of skewer to, I'm going to just ruin the model. So I'm just going to have to hold it as best I possibly can, use tweezers and clamps and things like that, and just have some fun with it really. Some more comments going in. Definitely will do, mate. Give me a call anytime. I love that. Thank you so much. Paul Verhoeven is like the robot version of Tarantino. Is he? Maybe. I don't really know what you mean. Okay. Love it. You can explain that one later to me. So I've got lower legs and toes. I've got upper legs. Basically the backs of his knees, I suppose. I've got his hips. I've got an exhaust thing that goes on his back over here, like that. It's actually quite long in the head, but you never really get to see that, really. And then I've got his arms, which these massive beasts go on to. The detail on them. Look at it. I actually had to be really careful to make sure that I wasn't cutting off, when I was cutting off sprue, there was no sprue, there was no flash. There's a tiny piece left on there actually, I could try and get rid of that in a second. I'm going to do it now. I can see it. It's the only piece left. No, I've lost it. I'm not even going to bother. It looks like it's a part of it, so I'm just going to leave it. Okay, cool. Yeah, aren't they cool? The only tricky bit on any of these parts here to clean were on the back of these two pieces. Where's the other one? They were positioned in the printer like this, so the bed was underneath them where they were held onto, and the supports that held them on were attached to the back over here, and you can see there's lots of pits and things like that. And what I probably will have to do, when I've gloss varnished it, I'm hoping it'll be a bit easy to see. It's quite hard to see in this colour resin. I'm going to sand it down a little bit so I can see where the pits are. They should show up as little black dots. I'm going to get tiny bits of green stuff, little tiny balls, and smear them into it, and then when they're dried, sand them down and then re-gloss it, and it should hide everything. But there are tiny little details also printed into them that are so tiny they may not even show up on the camera, so I've got to be really careful what I do. I could sit here and talk about how fabulous it is all night. Let's just get on and paint something. Lordy! Oh, time for some tea. I'm so excited for this. Do you know, I did have 2 cups of coffee earlier on today, and I very, very rarely ever have coffee. That was earlier this morning, so maybe who said it earlier on, who gave Danny the coffee? Maybe you're picking up on the right vibe there, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to start probably with these parts here. I think they're the easiest bits to do. I could probably just hold them like this, right, and just paint this section, plop them down, and then come back to them when they're dry, hold them like this, do the top part. That's what I'm hoping for. So, yeah, for this, I'm going to get myself a sheet to spray my paint on, just like this. Crumb says, don't want to smear your balls, it makes it difficult to walk. And there goes the live chat. Just going to give this a really good shake. No, I don't have a Wazomatic. Mike Turner's joined us. Hi, Mike. How you doing, pal? Hand wazzing. That's a good cup of tea. I wonder if it tells me what the best pressure to put this through is. Nah, it doesn't. I'm just going to keep it on what I got. I don't even know what it is that I got it. Nah, who knows? Fantastic. Right. I'm just going to load the hopper up because I'm going to be doing a lot of it, right? I'm also going to put a little bit of... Should I put a little bit of flow improver in there? Here's a primer. Oh, tough decision. I'm going to give it a go by itself. It's a good quality product, that is. Okay, this is the left foot. I'm going to try my best to not get the feet mixed up. So I've got to remember that the left foot is the one that's aligned straight. The right foot is the one that's orientated on an angle. That's only going to become really important when I do the toes, because I can always refer to the box art on this one. Mike says, I think we need to start a Wazomatic GoFundMe page. Please do. Okie dokie, here we go. So, I'm so excited just to put this on here. Thanks, Dad. I really love this model, it's brilliant. So I think it was Vince Venturella, another YouTuber who does a lot of Gundams and things like that, who he does like really fine airbrush work, and he says get the first layer of airbrush paint on as a layer of dust so you can almost barely see it, and let that dry for a second. Maybe hit it with some cold air, and it just kind of lets that first layer grip, and then the paint grips to it in future blasts, sprays, passes, whatever. Dan, what's all the gizmos on the back of his legs? Can't see him in the pictures of him. The backs of his legs here, in these bits, or on the other bits? Not that one for that leg. This one here. So this one here, slots in like this. Yeah. And then the hip goes on the front here. Think like this. Yeah, that's right. Is that the right side? Where's the other one? Yeah, like that. That's his leg. Is this what you're talking about? Very cool, isn't it? And then all this stuff in here is just all like cables and pipes and just features, man. Just features. I think there are still some resin supports stuck to the Achilles heel area. No, they're not supports, that's all cables. All cables. They actually line up with the toes when you put the toes in. He's got a lot of cables inside his feet. I did one of the same thing. I made sure that I went over it meticulously before I started chopping bits out. I didn't want to ruin it at all. There was virtually nothing to take off of him. It was more sanding down the little divots that the supports leave behind. It was very, very well cared for. These little spots that are lying down here, even if they're really thin, they might actually affect the layer of paint when it goes down. So I'm going to try and be really careful with those bits. Just use my fingernail there really to just kind of flatten them down or remove them entirely. I could just ever so gently use a pair of tweezers just to kind of score that paint off. Or I suppose you just get like a little bit of alcohol, just remove it completely. My apologies for my tardiness there, Stafford. No, I think we were all a little bit late today, mate. Apart from the usual culprits. Yeah, we're getting a bit of spatter there. Let's not have spatter, please. Don't want that. So you can see it's going to take a while, right? This isn't going to be a quick project at all. I'm hoping by the fact that there's not necessarily an insane amount of detail work to do on him, that it should be fairly quick. It's not like I've got to pick out loads of details on like a Warhammer figure or anything like that at all. You can see that there's so much going on in these very busy feet parts that trying to get the paint in behind all those details down in here. You see there's lines of colour all over the place. Just got to take my time and work that paint in. Just try and find the best angle wherever I can. And just not overdo the spray, because it will just fill in any little details, create a texture that paint will build up on, and it will look terrible, and it will stand out really as well. Starting to see a few more pits where the supports have been on them as well, and that's what I was saying about with the paint. When the paint goes on, it's easier to see those things. So maybe there's a bit more repair work to do as we move through the project. What the artist who created this model went through to get all the details on here, like, I'd love to know what his references were. Did he actually get to go and see the real thing? Because Ed 209 still exists. He's still out there. And he's actually in really good condition as well. He was missing his toes, but I think that they came off for transportation purposes anyway. You can see him in the movie stills behind the scenes without any toes on wheels, which is always a bit weird. Inside that front toe is the hardest piece to get to at the moment, but I'm just going to take my time. I might have to come back to it. Take my time, get that paint worked in there. Yeah, I can see some more supports here. That's okay though. Even got his OCP serial number on there. For those of you who don't know what OCP is, on Omni Consumer Products from RoboCop the movie. Don't watch the 2014 version, by the way. Yes, I'm telling you what to enjoy. Like other movies that I could name, it's actually a really good movie if it wasn't a RoboCop movie. The 2005 War of the Worlds movie with Tom Cruise, a really good movie if it's not about War of the Worlds. Okay, just going to blast that with air for a second there, and I'm going to come back to this one. So I've almost worked all the way up to where my fingers are. He just needs to sit there for a second, right? Stafford's here, stop talking about him. Sorry, I've been keeping up with the hobbying. Had an interesting couple of weeks at work. Yeah, you have. Those of you that don't know me and Stafford, we know each other, so where I work's all been sold. Now we're all in limbo to see if we still have jobs. Went through that 6 months ago. Not a pleasant or comfortable experience. All the best. Right, I'm going to pop him down. I know I've sprayed underneath, but I'm going to make sure it's dry. Pop him down like that. Excellent. On to the next one. Here we go. Went through quite a bit of primer in there. There's hardly anything left in the jar. So, yikes. I'm out. So a whole hopper per leg. Well, part foot, I suppose, really. I should give it a quick rinse out, so I will. Just flush it through some water there. Catch up on the live chat, you know. Danny, have any of your projects been quick? No, I'm the slowest painter in the world. I enjoy it though, but I would like to get more done quicker. I seek perfection a bit too much, you know? And I always say, don't do that. Okay, I'm going to clean the hopper out with a tissue or something because the paint actually is such good quality. It's actually coming away just with a bit of water, which is a good sign for its quality, but it might end up clogging up the paint chamber. Nothing left in there, it's cleaned out really well, that's good. Grab one of those, there we are. Turns into a bit of a skinlet. Good quality paint that is. Stuck to me. Get off. Excellent. There's a new version, says Stafford, of RoboCop. Yeah, mate, came out in 2014. It's got Joel Kinnaman in it, Michael Keaton, and Gary Oldman. It's a good film if it's not RoboCop. It's not RoboCop. It's, yeah. All the character is all gone from all of the things, people, and shame, right? Okie dokie. Slow test. We're flowing. Now normally I suggest that you should paint in pulses rather than like sustained streams to help try to stop paint clagging up inside the paint chamber. Problem is when I'm doing that, and it might be that there's still blockages in my airbrush, or I haven't really used it very well, maybe my airbrush isn't that good, maybe I'm a bit rubbish, is every time I'm kind of pulsing like that, I do get those bigger spatters, but with a steady stream it seems to go on a little bit better. I've just got to make sure that I take the time to stop to, you know, to give it a quick pulse to make sure there's nothing building up in the nozzle. Don't want anything building up in your nozzle. Giggity. Some air bubbles are starting to appear in the hopper, which tells me that there could be there's a bit of backflow in there, which means that there's probably a blockage. I'm not surprised. I took a photo actually of everything that came out of it. I'll post it on Facebook a little bit later. It was horrific. It's really difficult just trying to get all this paint into all these different areas. That's just so hard to find the right direction. One thing I've also found with 3D prints, even resin prints, in fact is probably even more noticeable on resin prints, is that because they're printed in layers, they actually do have, even right down at a microscopic level, they have little layer lines on them, and they create this really weird reflective surface. It looks quite pretty sometimes, but when you start painting that, even at their like microscopic layer, they have like a directional cover, so you hold it in one way, it looks like you've painted everything, hold it the other way and it's a completely unpainted miniature, like those little sort of holographic images you used to see as a kid. We have like a playing card or something where it's got like a picture, hold it in one way, see one picture, do it the other way and the picture changes, like a dinosaur opening its mouth or something. It's the same optical illusion that creates this. So I hold it like this and I can paint everything and go, oh, that's all black, hold it this way and I go, oh, nothing's been bloody painted. Oh, big splotches there. I'll get rid of those. Try and build up that layer a little bit, like good old Vince Venturella said. Get a really thin layer on, almost like dust, you can barely see it. Hit it with some cold air, let it dry. And then you can come back to it. Oh, and put your layers over the top of that. It's called aliasing. Newer printers have settings to smooth them out. Love that. Aliasing. I didn't know it had a name. Thanks. I've learned something today. Has that got any reference at all to the video game world in graphics where you got like anti-aliasing? Does that reference a similar sort of feature in any way? I don't pretend to know about high-end graphics settings or anything like that at all. I know some bits and pieces, but not all of it. Having such a good time, like I've actually forgotten that we're supposed to be going for a quick break. So yeah, we'll have a quick toodaloo. We'll pop off for a second and we'll go and get ourselves a grown-up juice because it's the Friday, and you know what? Oh, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a humdinger of a week. It really has sucked balls. So I'm really happy to have the end of the week here in sights. Still got a load of paint left in the hopper there. That is good. Hopefully it doesn't dry in the hopper. So let's give that a little bit there on the underside so I can put him down on his feet and then disappear for a quick 10-minute break. Gonna go get myself a refreshment, say hello to my partner who's just turned up home, and I'll be straight back up again. Oh, it whistles in there, look. I'm such a child. Cool, right, you can go there, please. Right foot. Lovely. Put that to the side. More components to do. It's going to take ages, isn't it? And then once all that primer is on there, and I've got a really good primer, I'll make sure that I've got a couple of coats on there. I can go over with the grey. Now, this was supposed to arrive in the post tomorrow, but Amazon did its good thing and actually managed to get it to me early, which is great. So if I do get that far today, I can start putting those layers on too. Okay, anyway, it's time to go for a quick break. Go grab some grown-up juice. If you've been using water, go change your paint water. I'll see you in 10. Bye-bye. And welcome back. So excited. I just started to carry on. Having a great time this evening. Really exciting project. Happy weekend, everybody. Got a grown-up juice of vodka and Coke. Cheers. Happy Friday. Oh, yeah, I've been looking forward to that. Happy weekend. It's all here, isn't it? Look, if you're new here and you don't know what we're all about, we're a painting club. Nothing more, nothing special, not a tutorial show. If you enjoy what we do, please do consider subscribing to the show. You are the community. Let's get it to grow a little bit, make some more friends, get some more wisdom, perhaps help more people out. Perhaps you know someone who might benefit from the show. Go and share Easy 8. Talk all about it. Put up a poster. Wear a t-shirt. I don't mind. Let's bring more people into the team. And we can help each other through all our projects, because the whole point of this is to get through those massive piles of unpainted plastic we got lying around. I'm surrounded by them. You must be too. Come on, let's not lie. So get some colour on your grey. That's the whole point of it, right? So subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the little thumbs up button. Go on. I'll give you a second if you haven't done it already. You can have another sip of my booze while you do that. Hit the thumbs up button. Go on. Shh, I won't look. Thanks ever so much. Cool. Having a great time here painting. It's just a slow process now of getting all of that black gloss undercoat on there. I keep calling it undercoat. It's a primer, and isn't it? We're not painting houses, but you know what I mean, right? So I'm just going to go straight over to the workbench and just carry on because I'm having a great time. Here we go. Don't forget, if you are working on something this evening, come and tell me all about it. I'm genuinely inspired and motivated by the stuff that you guys do. Some beautiful works coming out there, by the way, in the community. Photos are going up all the time on Facebook, on Discord, where you can put your photos. If you want to take photos, please do. Or if you just want to come and talk about it, let us know what it is that you're working on. I am genuinely inspired by all of your projects. So this piece that I'm doing here is the back part of the leg. So it will fit onto the top of the feet parts that I've been doing. The hips fit onto the front here. And in the film, it's a really clever design. They rotate on this axis here, so it allows him to actually spread his feet out if he wants to. It actually can turn corners and things. And there's giant screw threads that go up in there. And these parts here would elevate up and down so he can gain height on them. Yeah, really, really clever design. So just before the break, I was talking about aliasing, which is the term that I've learned today, which is the artifacting that you get from the weird optical illusion of paint in one direction, no paint in the other direction because of the layer lines from the printing. And I suggested that maybe it was the same thing in PC gaming. And Shiv did say that it's anti-aliasing or anti-aliasing in PC gaming is where, I can't remember exactly how he worded it, refers to the sharp edges of pixels being noticeably visible. So the little tick box that you can tick for anti-aliasing takes more processing power, probably tries to eliminate that artifacting. So it makes things look nicer in your video games. And if it's like hard edges of pixels, hard edges of print lines, it all makes sense, right? Now, I'm your average layman, and to me that feels like, knowledge acquired. I've learned something like proper decent there. My partner wasn't home when I went downstairs a minute ago. She was supposed to be home, but she was a bit late. She's feeling a bit poorly today. Shame. There's a lot of that going around, so if you are feeling a bit poorly, or you know people are being a bit poorly, take a rest. Look after yourselves, guys. There's some ugly little bugs going around out there at the moment. I've actually got away with it mostly. I've had like a sore throat for about 3 weeks. You know the sort of sore throat where you just kind of get like tired vocal cords. I'm just like talking all day, and I talk a lot in my job. I'm thinking maybe it's just my voice is a bit tired, but no, I feel a bit run down. There's some people at work that are really poorly. My partner is no exception to that. So she went to go and have tea and chips with her friend over her friend's house. What a delightful dinner that is. She loves tea and chips as her favourite. She's a fiend for chip shop chips. Gotta find a good chippy though. Can't have none of those rubbish chippy chip shop chips. I said the word chippy chips too much there. We call them chippy chips as well. It says Ed 209 on the back of his leg, just on this tiny little detail there. That's so cool. All these little details. Like, who's going to be looking at the back of his knees to find out his name? Right, onto this piece here. These other pieces over here, they're still only half painted. I'm just going to let them sit for a really long time. The varnish on the other side, the primer on them is probably dry, but there's no reason to go back over them right now. I've still got lots of other little pieces to do. Once I've gone through the whole group of them, that I can go back again, do the other halves that still need painting, and then I'm probably going to do a second pass over them all over again anyway. So, yeah, this is a long haul game. However, it is going quite well. Airbrush is behaving. Touch wood. Why did I jinx it, eh? Still got a bit of paint in the hopper there. Got my concentration voice on. It's a really good show, isn't it? This host is great, doesn't say anything. So give me some subjects to keep on talking about. Pics have now been added to Discord, says Adrian, with an explanation of who is who. Is it characters already written into the lore of the games that you're playing, or have you created your own characters? I love it when people create their own characters. I think that makes everything much more personal. You know, and some people outside of the hobby might laugh at that. But it's no different than like naming your car or something, you know. Naming your pets or your children. You know, I like this one, I'll give it a name. But you know what I mean, it makes it much more personal. Characters out of a book, isn't it, you know? So I've just seen a Hanamag with a Pack 40 on board. Is that a thing? I don't know all the different code number things for all the different Hanamags, but my dad does, and he seems to have enlightened you there already. Pack Pack 40 on a hand. They put so many things on Hannah Mags as well, like flamethrowers, machine guns, everything. Like, so yeah, it wouldn't surprise me actually. Did Ed209 have its feet in the video I sent you a while back? I can't remember, but I've seen stock images of him in that warehouse, and his feet are in those pictures. He is stored without his side toes, so it looks like he's just wearing roller skates, and he's on a platform with wheels, so you can move him around, and he's in really good condition. But I've got stock images of his feet from the movie. I've been through his initial scene, and when he starts walking, it shows you very up close all the mechanisms in his feet working, because they want to show him off and make him look intimidating. And then he is friendly to Mr. Kinney. It's a great scene, isn't it? Not for Mr. Kinney though. Have you seen the Muppets version? You have to see the Muppets version. They've done a Muppets version of him. Of that whole scene. There is much fluff in it. And just as I get to the end of doing this piece here, I have just run out of more primer in there. So I made that go a little bit further, I think. That's great. Just sit over there and dry for a second. And again, I'm just going to give it a quick clean out, just going to rinse out more. This is all prep work, isn't it, for the actual colour? You've got to put the time and effort into the prep work. Everything else comes along much better when you do that. I used to be one of those people that would rush the priming, or even not even prime at all, and it's a bad idea. Do your prep work. No paint seems to be coming loose in there this time, so I'm just going to leave it to save myself the time. Straight in with some more primer. Here we go. Now this primer, the Surface Primer Gloss Black, I bought this to go along with the metal colour, the really good quality metal. The gloss really makes that metal pigment shine really, really well. And I have thought about getting some of the high quality metal paints for this project, but the exposed metal parts on Ed209 are really small, and if you brush that product on, it doesn't have the same effect as it being airbrushed. So I'm just going to paint the silver on by hand. There's only a few details. They stand out quite a bit, but yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about airbrushing them. Okie dokie, what shall I do next? Well, we're on legs, so I might as well do the hips. Here we go. So, I will do my best to paint the tops here. Here we go. Pieces are all getting a little bit smaller as well now, so probably you'll start getting through this bit a bit quicker, maybe, depending on the detail or the awkwardness to hold them. Just realised I might not have been in shot there, apologies. I'm going to increase the size of my screen. I often leave it at this size at this part of the show. Here we go. This explains why he couldn't handle stairs in the movie. Oh, he has a real old tantrum, doesn't he? Stairs are a real pig for him. That's an inside joke. Didn't know the movie well. Ed209 in the new version of the movie was very pretty. It was very cool. It actually looks like what I reckon a walking tank would look like. He's very modernised, very sleek. but it's not Ed. It hasn't got the character of Ed, and there's lots of him as well. And that was the whole point of Ed. He was supposed to be urban pacification, and they were going to trial him in old Detroit, basically going around doing RoboCop stuff and just taking out gangs and things and just being a bit of a street villain. But urban pacification, that's basically like, you know, bad military stuff, right? So he was always supposed to be in that situation. He was a prototype. But in the new RoboCop movie, he's actually militarized, and there's lots of him. I like him, but he's not as good. Now I touched it a little bit there and left a little bit of a pattern, I think a pattern in the black paint. And that's a piston ram, and I'm gonna hopefully make that look real smooth with silver paint. So hopefully that won't show up. Just gonna hit that with some cold air a minute, get that to dry. It can be a bit difficult to see when it's dried because it's gloss paint, so it has a shininess to it. The remake was a RoboCop movie in name only. Yeah, it was a good film if it wasn't RoboCop. Cool, pop that over there. There we go. To this piece here. Same piece, different side. Again, more cold air. I'm really concerned about the work that I've got to do on the head of Ed 209. Like all of that really complicated crafting. It feels like an afterthought. Like the person who created the model in the 3D printing software made a really good model and thought, oh yeah, I've got to break it up somehow. It's going to be really difficult to print or to package or whatever. And it looks like it's been chopped up badly. The rest of the model's been put together so well. I wonder if it was a bit of an afterthought. And because it's on his head, not basically his face, that's where most of the character of any individual is. And that's going to be really noticeable because our eyes are drawn to faces and heads and things. So yeah, a tricky thing to deal with. Okay, and that's another hip piece done. Again, just going to give that a bit of a blast of cold air just to help agitate and dry the paint. Hi Darren, Darren's come along this evening. How's it going, fella? Are you painting anything today? Just coming along for the chit chats. So this is the pelvis, essentially, his head part, the torso if you like, connects onto here, and then his legs and the hips that we've just been painting connect onto this. And I like the fact that this is, I don't really know how to explain or describe that, but it's almost like an accordion, the billows really, isn't it? Inside that is all the mechanisms and cabling, whatever that allows Ed to function. It's almost like an accordion billows, or like the extendable connectors that go onto airplanes for passengers to get on. So yeah, I don't know what colour that is. It might be black. I can't remember. But these little details here, whatever they are, little petrol caps underneath. See those two little things here? They're bright silver, so they'll stand out. Yeah. I'm going to be careful about how I'm going to paint this. You have to do just one side because he's going to go down like that. There's no other way to hold him, so just going to do the top side of him. Too much rum for Stafford. Sorry, pal. or not enough. Yeah, maybe. Just a social this evening. Thanks for asking. No, you're welcome, man. I haven't seen you for ages. Hope you're doing well, mate. I have been very busy. Very busy. New job is crazy. Fun, but balmy. Oh, itchy head. There are some scuffs underneath him there. And I wonder what they've come from. If that is supposed to be battle damage underneath him. He's got no other scarring or anything on him whatsoever. Certainly didn't come from the sanding. Was very, very careful with the sanding. So maybe I'll have to try and repair that if it's noticeable later on. I wonder if you can see all those scars. Can you see them? I can see them on the camera. Yeah. Maybe it was a bit aggressive with sanding. Who knows? Sorry, Ed. Bit of cold air on that, please. Okay. Try and be careful that I'm going to hold him by these little nuggets there. Pop that over there. When I got the paint on my hands, it was drying. It was starting to come off a little bit on the billows of that. So I want to be really careful about that as I move forwards. I don't want to be leaving anything too strong behind. So if I start getting build up like that, just like a spatter, I'll just try and scrape it off, or even use some alcohol on a cotton bud and just wipe it away. Perhaps. I am now going to do these things, the exhaust vents that fit onto the back of him. I might try and hold onto him with some pliers, tweezers, stick or something, because it's going to be quite difficult to hold. Maybe I do one side at a time like this. I'll try that. Bit easier that way, isn't it? Would love to get back on the brushes, says Darren. I didn't think it was possible to have too much rum. Yeah, I think it might be. I'm reading the comments backwards now. Darren asks, is that the half-track or armoured car? I can't remember. I don't know any of those armoured car serial numbers or anything like the SDKFZ things. I don't know what any of those numbers are. It's like an alien world to me. And as for getting back on the brushes, man, you'll find your time. We've all got our lives, man. Thanks for coming along and being part of the community. It's nice. A social club as much as it is a painting club, right? Make friends, keep in touch, talk hobby stuff. Starting to rush it a little bit, so I've just noticed that now, so I'm just going to sort of slow down a little bit, take some time. He has got some battle damage on the back of him here. He's got some chonks or whatever at the back of his exhaust. Deliberately actually sculpted into him, so maybe that is all supposed to be scuffs, I don't know why. Yeah, he's definitely got some things on him. Interesting. Maybe I'll start seeing some bits and pieces coming out. As I start to paint him, I'll start seeing little details that previously were hidden to me. Oops, definitely didn't want to do that. Well done, me. Okay, pop you there. There we are. Okie dokie. Onto the arms then. These are going to be tricky affairs to paint as well. So just like that other piece, I'm going to have to paint them like that. That's going to be the lateral movement for it. So I'm going to paint the top side here. It's a Hanomag with a great gun. Yeah. Too much armor to make at the moment. Oh, so you're making all your armor pieces for the reenactment scenes. That's great. Do you know what? If you're busy, man, you're busy. Better to be busy than idle, right? And at least you enjoy doing the armor. Too many hobbies, mate. If you can have too many hobbies. I don't think you can have too many hobbies. I think you can have not enough time to pursue them all. Hit that with some air again. Whew. Okay, pop that down like that. It's getting a bit hard to see now with so much black here, isn't there? Maybe I'll have to like give this a blast of white or something so that in a second you can see more. Right, onto this piece here then. This is the other arm, obviously. Went a bit heavy there, didn't I? Slow down. Again, give it some air. Got to get that first layer down, let it dry. Get more layers down, let it dry. Just described painting in like minimal sentences. Sorry for being so pretentious. Onto the cool parts, the big fat guns. This is the right hand gun. I know this because it has rockets on the side of it, but the detail on the little frame, every little loop and fold and piece of metal and cable and fluting and heat sinks and everything. Oh my god, it's cray. Other comments going in: rum and super glue don't mix, so staff's drunk. That's brilliant. If only I could put this damn glass down. Do you know what? It sounds like you need a refill. Tried that once. Dangerous, mate. Don't let go of it. Is Danny drinking this sponsored or not sponsored Hobgoblin or Liquor 43? Neither, sir. As explained earlier, drinking the old vodka and coke today. It is my sword of choice. I love it. I am going to paint this one in this orientation so I can pop him down like this. That's how he's going to sit and dry. Yes. Okie dokie. I'm going to hold on to the ends of these ammo boxes here. Thought I ran out of paint there, but that's near impossible. Yeah, back to the gentle layerings. I'm sure it was Vince Venturella I saw this from. Yeah, it's an obvious thing, isn't it? First layer on, thin. So thin. You can barely see it. I'm actually probably going twice as thick, just by doing this layer here. Got itchy finger. Yikes. That came out of nowhere. So the actual arm pieces go into this bit here, so I'm not too fussed if this gets any kind of pattern on it from putting it down when the paint's drying. So I'm actually going to do everything here, and I'm just not going to put paint on where I'm holding it, obviously. I wonder if I've actually been in shot for the last half an hour. Let me see if I can line myself up with the camera. Here we go. This is where I need to be. Do you know, in the early days, like the first sort of 6 months of doing Easy 8, I used to have it marked out on the tabletop in masking tape for the outer edges of the viewing area from the camera. So I always knew I had to be somewhere in there, but over time I kind of got used to it and then I get sloppy. Bit of a tricky one to put down this, so I'm going to pop him down over here on the side and hopefully I don't knock him. Lovely. And here's the other one. This one's just got guns and two big ammo drums, and it's really interesting when he comes online in the film and he's sat in the boardroom as he flexes and everything, all the movable parts on him move in some way, and these actually, like, they kind of go in as if he's loaded them. Like, yeah, lots of little details that I never really noticed in his movement, in his mannerisms and stuff. They gave so much character to Ed, and it's kind of a lot of it's overlooked, and I think that's a real shame, really. Oh, I've just run out of black paint. Okay, cool. A quick rinse, maybe? Quick rinse. That was a healthy gulp of alcohol I just took there. to lose a little bit of paint in cleaning there, so I'm going to have to take the hopper out. You can see, I don't know if you can see at the bottom there, the hopper just suddenly cleaned. The water was cutting through the skin of paint on the inside there, which means I now want to just remove that, because if that comes away in the paint, you end up with that skin that's coming out here that it goes inside the paint chamber, and that will go inside the paint chamber in the nozzle block and just cause a catastrophic failure of epic proportions. Just don't want. Blech. That is gross, isn't it? Sometimes when I'm cleaning my ears, this sort of stuff comes out. I've got a bit of tissue here somewhere. There we go. A lot of people wear gloves, don't they, when they're airbrushing? I don't like having any kind of sensory reduction. Wearing gloves becomes a little bit harder to, feel things, sense things, hold things properly. The edges of the gloves kind of get in the way a little bit. I think it would be harder to paint with them, but there is an argument to have them, I suppose. Right, pop that back on. I cannot. Go. Perhaps I should have like a damp towel or something beside me that I could kind of clean my hands off on regularly. Looks like I've been a bad goth attempt. Paint my own nails. Oh, Christinus has joined us. Oh man, I am late. Hope everyone's having a good week. Mate, I'm having a wicked week. Well, actually, the week's been a bit rubbish, but I'm having a great end of a week. So thanks for coming along. It's nice to see your name again. Today I'm painting Ed 209. You can go back and watch the beginning of the episode later on if you want to catch up on all about the origin of the model and why I've got it and what I'm hoping to achieve. I don't expect anyone to go back and watch the whole thing just because they missed it. I hope it was a live show, but some people do. So thanks for that, gang. Love that. Okie dokie, here we go. So, on to the second set of guns. And thin layers. How goes it? Happy Friday. Hope you've all had a good weekend. Got my first Necromunda game this weekend. So lined up. Excellent. Well, please do find us on Facebook and tell us how it went. Or we'll see you next week, I suppose. Interesting point about next week. I'm not going to be here, I don't think. So, again, like always, I will keep you in the loop as and when I know. Next weekend at work is insanely busy, and there's every chance I will not be around in time, and I'd rather make plans to not be here rather than just kind of not know until I just turn up. That's not fair on you guys. It allows you to kind of do your own thing. For those people that are hardcore fans, thanks, by the way. So, yeah. I work at a residential activity centre, mostly for children, but for all sorts of people, and we've got a really, really big festival, an organisation coming along, a Pride festival actually, where we've got triple the amount of people coming that we can actually provide capacity for, staying over the entire weekend. They're hiring our entire land, rather than just kind of like coming along as a school residential and doing activities and stuff. They're all just coming just to kind of chill out and have a really cool time. A real gay day, I suppose you could say. We're really excited about it, but man, is it going to be busy. So we've got a centre that can have about 520 beds, right? We've got 1,200 people coming. Cray. So, yes, it's all hands on deck, and I just don't think that I'm going to be at home with any appreciable time. So it's probably best just to plan for the worst and just say, do you know what, guys? I'm probably not going to be here. I'll have a more definitive understanding of what my timings will be closer to the end of the week. So I will put it out whether I'm going to be on or not. I will make sure that it goes out on the socials before the end of the week, so you guys can follow or make plans around it. Go and find another reputable online streaming service for your modelling needs. There isn't one. I know, it's so cool. Good luck to you then, Danny. Thanks very much, man. Cheers. Yes, it's a busy old couple of weeks coming up. So what we call the summer holidays, I suppose. Peak season. So yeah, now is not the summer holidays or the spring break for our cousins across the Great Pond. It is very close to that, but our peak is made up of the bit just before that. So we get lots of school residentials coming en masse, and we also get the summer holidays where there's lots going on. Very, very different from the organisation that I used to work for. Lots of different types of products, the hundreds and hundreds more people. I'm responsible for so much. It's really rewarding, but it's sometimes really challenging, and I tell you what, it has been a challenge this week. And I'll tell you all about it on Discord at the Easy 8 after party after this show, if you want to come and have a chat. Cool. Think I'm done on the guns. I'll sit on Discord singing all by myself loudly and out of tune, says Crumbs. I don't know why, there's going to be a few of us there. Shiv says, not gonna lie, it'll be good for me because he's not gonna be here, doesn't want to miss out. Do you know what? Silver linings, right? Can't be that bad, can it? Says Chrysulis. Chris, I couldn't even get a pity pass into round 2 on whatever country has talent. Oh, let's not do the pity shows, guys. Oh, here we are. We're coming to the end of the show, right? Feels like I've barely done anything, but lots of priming, lots of undercoating. I've just realised there are those little nibs there. Look at that. Nibs. Just on the bottom of his feet there. Every now and again I just miss something, right? There we go. I don't know if you can see on the focus there. Do you see the rough edges on the edge of his toe just there? Those are the little attachment points for all the supports. Missed them. Spent a long time studying him as well, making sure that studying the model, making sure that I'd got everything. But well, I suppose check everything 7 times. Little joke for you Superstore fans there. Check these ones as well. Yeah, there's 1 or 2 on there, nothing as bad though. Look at his other toes. Come here, toes. Yeah, do you know what? Let's do them. Oh man, I can't believe I missed all these little nibs. That's what I'm going to call them. Okay. What I'm going to do is going to give that a quick pulse of air in the other direction just because there might be little dusty bits now that I've just sanded off everywhere. So there we go. Okay, so tricky ones to paint. So what I'm going to do is just have those off to the side over here, and then one by one I'm just going to hold them down like this and just kind of give them a directional blast, and then I'll have to come back and do the other sides of them in a bit, right? So make sure I still got some paint. Here we go. Bit of fresh air. I am gluing more stuff to myself than the damn model. I think it's time to call it. Yeah, I think so, mate. sounds like sounds like you finished your evening there, pal. Just come and have a social chat on Discord, maybe. Put the tools down. Step away from the alcohol. Yeah, see, Darren, you're asking me to send you a link to the Discord. Of course I will. I'll do that as soon as we finish on there here. I'll take a few minutes break because I know that my partner is now definitely home. I say she's not feeling very well, so I want to kind of go and give her some attention and sympathy. And then I'll be right back on for the after show. Yeah, something like that. Where's the other ones? There we go. Hold these ones here too. Do pieces of fingers count as kit bashing? Yeah, I think we have to give him at least that concession. I think more texture than kit bashing. Yeah. Really viscerally getting involved in his model making process there. Blood, sweat, tears, and general DNA. Made with bits of real human, so you know it's good. I wonder if I can make this first pass all within the show. I'm gonna stretch it out, guys. We're doing a whole pass on a first go. Guys, there's a lot to do, isn't there? I know we yapped for a little bit at the beginning and I got very excited about things, but still, I've still got to do at least a second pass on all of these pieces, and then I'm gonna do a second layer. So I've got to pull my finger out at some point, I suppose. Wonder if I can get Ed finished before I move house. For those of you who don't know, buying a house, that's exciting, isn't it? We did talk about it the other week, because I remember Crumbs was saying that I should do like a video on making my new studio. So there will be a point later on in this year as well where I am unable to broadcast at all because I will be doing house moving things, you know, and all that general lark. But you know, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Two pieces left to go. So shoulder flaps. Just gonna rub my hands in it just because I've got paint building up on there, and anything that's loose enough to come off quickly could just come off. There we go. Love that. What else is going on? Part human, part robot, all cop. What we're talking about, I've missed quite a bit. Oh my gosh, I appear to have lost my fingerprints, says Stafford. Robocop was made with real human. Yeah, he was. Time for more rum. Part human, part robot, all cop. I love it. Maths was different in the 80s. Yeah, it really was, wasn't it? But it was such an astonishing film. There was so much effort put into making the suit and the way that he behaved and moved. It was just astonishing, wasn't it? And then the new film comes out and they just CGI'd it or made it look a bit gash, frankly, and just ruined the story and took a poo all over it. That's not really what I was into. It was just so original. Paul Weller's performance was just... Paul Weller is a singer. Peter Weller was the actor. Paul Weller probably would have made a rubbish RoboCop. Who knows? Yeah. Stop talking, Dan. Oh my gosh. That little nugget's on there too. Nuggets. One right on the top, right on here. Can I get that without scuffing the rest of the model? Can you see it? A little dot. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. Let's get rid of that. That'll stand right out, sir. No, thank you. Gotcha. Yeah. Excellent. Right. Let's get these guys painted. So I will hold him down with this skewer right here. So I don't have to get my big clumsy sausage fingers in the way. Right, just run out of... Oh, there we go. It's just drying in the nozzle a little bit. Oh, I've gone a bit heavy on that straight away, haven't I? Okay, hit it with some air. Still more comments to read. Please wait, we'll do a software update. Don't turn off your RoboCop while updating. Yeah, 99% then crash. That was always the case at school, wasn't it? EXE. But we do get the expected studio building update video for YouTube. Yeah, I would love to be able to do a thing like that when I move into my new property. To be like, do like a sort of a video feature on making the new studio. Because frankly, yeah, I've always moved around quite a bit and I've never really considered myself settled. I've lived in this house longer than any other property that I've lived in. Me and my dad, Jeff, in the live chat, just moved around a lot when I was younger. We just had a lot of places over the years. I think I'm in my 11th property. Not like a pikey or anything, you know, just always had different properties. And, you know, I've met my partner, Katie, and we really want to settle. And you know, not really interested in having a family, but we want to have our own place for keepsakes. So I can't see myself in the next 20 years moving on, really. You never know what's around the corner, though, do you? But you know, the house is everything that we need it to be. So I could really set up quite a studio as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, right? If it all goes through, because we're still in the solicitor's stage at the moment, we've really got ourselves a little gem and a steal as well. It really was very, very affordable. Beautiful garden, beautiful resources, beautiful part of town. It's just lovely. It's just absolutely lovely. So it'll be really nice if I could set up a real decent studio there. Space isn't the premium that it is here, though. So I've got to be very careful. Got to be respectful of my partner. Make sure that I'm not just kind of dominating, you know, the space in the house with, you know, nerd stuff. She likes to call it nerd shit. So we'll see. It'd be great to be able to do like a little video of like everything being built, right? Anyway, whew, there we go. Crazy. I've done a first pass on all the pieces apart from the head section, which obviously needs a lot of work left on it to do. I could do this piece here because as far as I'm aware, this bit here doesn't actually need any sculpting or work on it. As far as I can tell, all of it is between these two pieces here. Getting these two pieces to fit firmly together, basically just carving out this nonsense in this area here, and then likewise on the negative side on there, just cutting that all out. I could. It would be very easy if I had a saw, and I do have a saw, to kind of just cut through and just remove these whole pieces. Problem is if I make one little slip, I just come out of this area and then onto the detail on the front, and I've ruined the whole model. So I've got to be really careful with it. So it might just be I've got not a Dremel, but I've got a little Proxxon mini drill, and it might just be just slowly just kind of cutting all of this away, sanding it all back, and then hopefully matching the two pieces up perfectly. I can squeeze them together even now, and it almost looks like it wants to join up. But look at that bit there. See how it rocks? And that tells me that this rounded effort in here, they don't match up quite so well. And I can almost guarantee that the whole piece was originally sculpted digitally, and then they had to be cut. So software was used to split them, and then I bet you it went autofill. And it's just done that without really it being properly configured. That's what I think has been done. And the fact that it cuts it off so abruptly from here and cuts across that mesh tells me that it was a bit of a, not a rush job. Maybe it was a rush job, but you know, a bit of an afterthought perhaps. Maybe a bit of a we need to get it done sort of thing now. It's a real shame, but it means that I have to put a little bit of extra work into it in a different way, and when the model's all done, that'll be an extra layer of pride if I get it right. It's just such a lovely model to do. I love Ed. It was, like I say, it was always a favourite of mine. Love Robocop, brilliant film. Anyway, we're done here. Let's move away from this silly place. Last couple of comments going in. You said flaps. I certainly did. You've had too much booze. You need to put that glass down, sir, if you can. Can we say flaps? Well, we just said flaps a lot, so I'm just going to assume that we can say flaps. Robocop was the first over 18 I ever saw, of course, because it was an R-rated film, because it goes there, doesn't it? Christoulis says, as long as you don't combine it with Wazcop. Robo-Waz. Flap-Waz. Oh, okay, yeah, right, got it, cool. Too late to cancel that. Might be time for a rewatch on the movies, says Christoulis. Yeah, man, do you know what? That might be a part of my my self-care Saturday. Just going to sit around and have a long old shower, going to get me comfies on, sit there with a cup of tea, and I might put on Robocop. Oh, what a lovely idea. Can't find it on most streaming software, so I'll have to see if I can buy it on Amazon or something like that. Yeah, it's a great film, isn't it? Gun doubles as an airbrush. Gun doubles as an airbrush? Have I just jumped ahead there in the conversation? Oh, I see. Like Robocop's gun doubles as an airbrush. That would be cool. You'd get stuff done, wouldn't he? Yeah, but only airbrushes you in the groin. Yeah. Wee Waz on the run. Plenty of space for the fuzzies to roam. This is getting a bit weird. Thank you for the stream. You're so welcome. Thanks for coming along and just being a part of this crappy little show. It's just there to kind of create a space for you guys doing your thing and painting stuff and whatever, and I just really appreciate your company, so thanks for coming along. Overlord's just joined us right at the last second there. Man, have you been watching the whole time? Great time, Danny. Thanks, man, so much. I didn't realise that you were in the live stream. Like, who says live set? What does that even mean? Oh, what was in this? Stafford, you've poisoned me, mate. Okay, Danny, got it. Can't say flaps. Oh no, I have superglued to my tongue. Yeah, how have you superglued your tongue? Mate, you need to stop. right now. If you've enjoyed tonight's show, or any show for that matter, for any reason, even if it's been Stafford drinking super glue, please do consider subscribing to the show. Subscriptions go a really long way to making a community go. You are the community and the subscribers, so the more that you guys get people to subscribe, the bigger we get, the more well known we get, and that's what we want. I've not technically been in the set, not whilst live though. Okay, cool, yeah, brilliant. Do you know what, mate? It's just lovely to see your name in the live set, in the live chat. It's time for me to finish as well. Please subscribe, get Easy 8 shared, get it known, get it out there, bring more people into the community so that we can love share this wonderful little hobby together. That's it really for me. Don't forget that we're not just here on YouTube, we're on Facebook, Instagram and Discord, where I will be momentarily after the show. You can join me for a live video chat if you fancy. I will do my very best to be here next week, and I will keep you in the loop both on Facebook and here on YouTube with little community comments as well to let you know whether I'm going to be here or not. Next week is just going to be a bit turbo, so I apologise if I'm not going to be able to make it. I really want to be. This is an exciting project, but maybe it'll be an extra time just to do the boring black painting stuff while I'm away. Anyway, in the meantime, please keep on painting, get some colour on your grey, and I'll see you next week now. Take care, bye bye. Oh man, just where I was cutting that last little bit of resin down, I've got resin dust all in the painted bits I've just painted. What a knob.